There was once a family living in the city who had enjoyed years of comfort and harmony. But everything started to spiral into chaos the moment they moved into a new house. Money began disappearing for no reason, arguments became more frequent, and the whole house was filled with a heavy, unsettling energy, like something invisible was quietly taking over. No one could explain what was going on. That is, until one day, an old Feng Shui master happened to walk by. He paused in front of the main entrance, looked inside for just a few seconds, and then calmly said, "It is these scattered, messy shoes that are blocking the flow of wealth and causing your family to drift apart." His words left everyone speechless, because in that moment, they realized the cause had been right in front of their eyes the whole time. Something they saw every single day, but never thought twice about. In Feng Shui, the main entrance is believed to be the gateway through which the very first stream of energy enters the home. But what many people do not realize is that the very first thing you see when you open the door can have an even greater impact than any other spot in the house. That first image creates an energetic imprint, setting the tone for peace or unease from the very first moment. Just one misplaced item in this space can block your flow of abundance, weigh down the emotional atmosphere, and trigger tension in relationships. The view from your front door acts like a luck activator, and if it is clouded by negative energy, your entire home, from health and harmony to wealth, can suffer as a result. In today's video, we are going to talk about something that most people completely overlook: the view from your front door. This is the exact moment when energy first enters your house, and just one wrong image in this spot can drain your home's luck. But before we begin, take a moment to leave a powerful positive affirmation down in the comments. My home is receiving light, blessings, and prosperity every single day. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel so that every new video becomes a source of light, good fortune, and peace for your home. Now, let us take a deeper look at the objects that, when visible from the main entrance, can quietly shift the energy inside your home without anyone realizing it. First item, scattered shoes. At first glance, a mess of shoes by the front door might seem like no big deal. But from a more subtle perspective, it is actually the very first reflection of how a household manages its daily life. Shoes follow us everywhere, going to work, grocery shopping, school, the doctor's office, or meeting friends. Each pair carries with it traces of the streets, dust from outside, and even the emotional state of the person wearing them. When they are piled up chaotically right at the threshold, without order, without direction, they do not create a feeling of welcome, but instead bring a sense of clutter and heaviness. Anyone walking into the house will instinctively try to sidestep them, lift their feet higher, or move cautiously, and even that small physical reaction can trigger a subtle discomfort. On a deeper level, a cluttered shoe area overloads the eyes, offering no place to rest. The brain is forced to process too many disorganized details at once, which leads to a feeling of pressure, unease, and even a lack of safety. In Feng Shui, the front door is where the first stream of energy flows in. In psychology, it is also where a first impression is made. And when both of those factors are blocked by a chaotic mess at your feet, the energy entering your home becomes fragmented and weighed down. On another level, messy shoes represent a lifestyle prone to carelessness, where temporary becomes permanent, and there is no clear boundary between inside and outside, clean and dirty, old and new. Every time the door opens, the very first thing you see is a pile of shoes, which slowly builds a subconscious sense of irritation. Over time, this leads to emotional fatigue that even the homeowner does not notice. It becomes easier to get tense, to snap, and to get into conflicts over the smallest things, because the cluttered entryway has already planted a seed of frustration from the moment someone walks through the door. Guests, too, will struggle to feel welcomed or respected if they are greeted not by your living room, but by a cramped space full of shoes. And if we treat the entrance as a literal gateway for wealth and blessings, then having the entire area occupied by items at ground level sends a silent message. There is no space left for good things to come in. So, scattered shoes do not just affect the look of your home. They quietly signal that your household energy is lacking clarity, order, and peace from the very first step inside. Second item, wilted flowers. Dried or wilted flowers, when placed within view of the main entrance, immediately create a distinct emotional response, one that people notice even before they consciously think about it. It is the feeling of something fading, something that was once beautiful, but now lacks life. When the door opens and the eyes fall on a vase of withered flowers, the entire impression of the home shifts instantly. The mood becomes slower, heavier, and less vibrant. The main entrance is supposed to be the source of fresh energy, the starting point for how both people and energy perceive the space. But when that space is filled with something that has lost its vitality, the house can feel cold, thin, and lifeless. This is not superstition, it is human instinct. A drooping petal, a discolored stem, a faded arrangement. These are all silent signals saying, this place is losing its vitality. And when that message appears, right at the front door, it affects everything behind it. It lowers the overall mood, weighs on the spirit, and blocks the smooth flow of energy. Beyond the emotional effect, wilted flowers also contribute to a kind of stagnant energy in the home. When the first thing you see is a symbol of decay, the mind registers a downward feeling rather than an uplifting one. As a result, the overall atmosphere of the house becomes more somber. Conversations may feel colder, and family members may become more sensitive or irritable for no clear reason. Some people keep dried flowers for sentimental reasons, or because they still look beautiful in their own way. But at the main entrance, they no longer serve as decoration. Instead, they represent stagnation, a pause in growth, and a lack of renewal. This is exactly what you do not want in the space that controls your home's energy flow. Visitors will not see a lovely artistic arrangement. They will feel a slow energy, a lack of vitality, and a space that feels neglected. And when the day begins, or guests arrive with that image in front of them, it becomes much harder for positive energy to settle in, while harmony within the family may gradually begin to fade. Third item, trash bins. A trash bin, or worse, a bag of trash, within direct view from the front door, creates an unmistakable reaction in anyone who enters. The entrance is supposed to welcome you with feelings of cleanliness, peace, and calm. But when the first thing someone sees is an object associated with waste, the entire space takes on a heavy, unkempt vibe. No matter how clean it is, a trash bin still symbolizes what is no longer useful. Seeing it right at the beginning of the home sends a subconscious message of decline. It is like starting a story with a full stop. Humans are especially sensitive to signs of endings, so when this kind of image appears first, it casts a slow, dull tone over the entire house. This is not a superstition. It is a natural emotional response. No one ever feels good walking into a home and seeing trash first. And that subtle discomfort spreads throughout the space. Each time you walk in or out, your eyes catch that symbol of waste and disorder. Over time, It adds up to a constant background noise of disarray. Even if everything else in the home is fine, the energy feels off. Guests notice it too. They might not say anything, but they will feel like the house was not ready to welcome anything good. When the beginning of your home already carries that weight, prosperity cannot easily enter, and emotional harmony between family members may be quietly but consistently disrupted. A trash bin is not just a utility. It becomes a silent barrier to brightness and flow when placed in the wrong spot. Fourth item, a front door that faces directly toward a neighbor's front door. When you open your front door and are immediately met with the sight of your neighbor's door directly across, the first feeling is not one of openness or convenience. It is an intense, hard-to-name sense of energetic confrontation. Two front doors directly facing each other is like two pairs of eyes locked in a silent stare. There is no buffer, no breathing space, and even if no one does anything, the sense of privacy shrinks. As human beings, we naturally seek a sense of calm and softness when stepping outside. But when our eyes meet another open door head-on, it can trigger an unconscious feeling of being confronted, as if something is coming toward us instead of flowing away. The mind picks up on this instantly. It is not loud, but it is enough to make someone in the house feel just a little more tense each time the door opens. Even if your neighbors are kind, the direct door-to-door view creates a subtle tension, as though your threshold no longer belongs solely to your space. It feels caught in a tug-of-war between two zones. When your first view carries even a slight sense of confrontation, it becomes harder for the rest of your home to hold on to true peace. This setup also creates a too straight, too fast energy movement. Every time the doors open, energy from one home shoots straight into the other, without anything in between to soften or slow it down. Living in such an environment over time can cause mood swings that seem to come out of nowhere, highs that are too high, lows that drop too suddenly. The rhythm of life becomes unstable, and people do not even know why. Conversations in the house can grow more tense than necessary. Family members may overreact to tiny issues. It is not that a door facing another door is inherently bad. It is that this setup removes the soft protective layer a doorway is supposed to have. Guests can feel this too. It creates a quiet sense of being watched or exposed, which weakens the overall sense of peace. And when the threshold is no longer a place to relax, it becomes harder for wealth and harmony to settle inside. Fifth item, sharp objects. Sharp objects, like knives, scissors, metal tools with pointed edges, or repair equipment left near the doorway, immediately trigger a subtle shock in anyone who opens the door. The moment your eyes land on something sharp, the body has a natural reflex to pull back slightly. The brain registers straight lines and pointed edges as warning signs. In daily life, we are completely comfortable seeing these items in the kitchen or toolbox. But when they show up right in the view of the front door, a space that should feel safe and whole, the energy behind the threshold becomes fragmented. That first view should feel open, soft, and smooth. But sharp edges cut that flow, breaking up the natural rhythm of the space. You may not consciously feel in danger, but your body loses its sense of ease. And that is when the energy coming into the home gets disrupted without anyone noticing. If the first thing you see every day is something pointed or sharp, it increases your chances of becoming more reactive, faster to anger, quicker to speak harshly. Not because you mean to, but because your nervous system has been on high alert from the visual signals it gets repeatedly. The warmth in your home slowly fades, Conversations get interrupted more often. Misunderstandings grow, simply because your mood is being pulled tight the moment you open the door. Guests, too, will feel it. It becomes hard to feel welcome when the first thing in front of them hints at danger or hard labor. When the threshold itself feels sharp, it is nearly impossible for soft, prosperous energy to enter, and harmony within the home slowly splits apart in small but persistent ways. So what should we do now? After understanding which items can weigh down your entrance and block the flow of energy, the next step is to clear them out and create a smooth, welcoming path for energy to enter. When it comes to restoring energy in a home, everything must begin with the entryway. It is not just the place where your feet touch down. It is also where your mind feels the sense of coming home. Every time the door opens, that small space in front of you sets the emotional tone for the whole house. If that space is cluttered or filled with random items, energy gets stuck in the mess, and people feel suffocated without knowing why. But once the entrance is clean, tidy, and clear, you will feel the change immediately. Your steps feel lighter, your breath becomes deeper, and the atmosphere opens up. A clean entryway is like a bowl of clear water. It carries no distractions, so any flow that passes through becomes calm and steady. This is the foundation for every other energy improvement to take root. After restoring tidiness, the next thing to awaken is light. A small, warm yellow lamp at the entrance may seem like a minor detail, but it can profoundly shift the emotional energy of your space. That light acts like a tiny sun, melting away the cold, making the entryway feel safe and pleasant. On weary evenings or groggy mornings, that soft yellow glow helps the mind slow down and breathe easier. Many families wonder why their homes feel dim and heavy, until they change the lighting at the entrance and suddenly feel like a fog has lifted. Light does not just brighten up physical space. It brightens emotion, softens dense energy, and prepares the space to receive all other improvements with ease. Once the light has restored emotional balance to your entryway, the next step is to gently introduce signs of life, elements that subtly tell the space. This home is alive, cared for, and open to positive energy. One of the best ways to do this is by adding a touch of greenery or placing a carefully chosen Feng Shui item near the entrance. A small leafy plant with soft edges, something simple and fresh, can completely transform the feeling of your front door. When placed with intention, not randomly or just for decoration, that one plant can become a grounding point for your entryway. It catches the light, warms the tone of the space, and breathes soul into the first step inside your home. You do not need a jungle at your door. Just one healthy, vibrant plant can soften harsh edges, calm fast-moving energy, and welcome peace in a quiet, lasting way. You might also consider adding a gentle Feng Shui object. This could be a small ceramic jar, a subtle figurine, or even a miniature bowl of water, each symbolizing stability, flow, or grounding, depending on what your home needs. But the golden rule is this: elegance comes from simplicity. Too much at the entrance creates visual and energetic pressure. But when life is added thoughtfully, just the right touch, it allows the energy to settle in gently, without overwhelming the space. What truly matters is not how many items you place, but the care and clarity behind why you place them. When your entryway reflects intention, life, and light, it becomes more than just a place to walk through. It becomes the space that sets the tone for every moment that follows inside your home. For homes where the door faces another door directly, what Feng Shui calls a door clash, The visual confrontation can stretch the energy tight without people realizing it. Every time the door opens, it feels like someone is staring back, which can make your subconscious feel tense. The direct exchange of energy between the two homes is like two rivers rushing straight at each other, creating turbulence. To ease this, hang a light curtain, place a tall but graceful plant, or use a slim folding screen. These do not block, they guide. They redirect the incoming energy from your neighbor's home so it enters more softly. With this gentle barrier, opening the door no longer feels like exposing your space, but like reclaiming your own peace and privacy. And no matter how many layers of protection you create, if even one sharp object shows up in the first view, that sense of calm is instantly broken. Sharp items, knives, scissors, screwdrivers, nails, tools, all carry outward-pointing energy. The moment the eye sees them, the body responds defensively. The heartbeat rises, the shoulders lift slightly, and breathing shortens. This is biology, not superstition. That is why sharp tools must never appear near the entrance. Just tuck them away in a drawer or a hidden spot, and the energy immediately softens. Without sharp edges, the energy does not break, and your return home feels smoother, more relaxed. Along with this, it is also crucial to keep symbols of decline out of sight, like wilted flowers, dried leaves, bags of trash, dirty cloths, or things waiting to be thrown away. These objects do not just look tired. They create a sense of surrender and exhaustion. Even if no one notices consciously, the energy drops. But once you remove those signs of decay from the entrance, it feels like your home has been freshly rinsed with clean air. Cleanliness is not just a habit. It is how we protect the emotional well-being of everyone in the house from subtle negativity. And finally, once everything is in place, the most powerful thing you can protect is that first scene when the door opens. This is the main activator of energy. It shapes your emotional state in an instant. That first view should be open, bright, and offer something gentle for the eye to rest on. A piece of calming artwork, a clean stretch of wall, or a soft light reflecting on the floor. When the eye lands on a peaceful image first, the mind immediately relaxes. The air in the home becomes balanced. Conversations become lighter. Meals feel warmer, and everyone falls just a little more in love with their home. In the end, once your entryway is clean, intentional, and peaceful, the simplest thing may be the most powerful of all. Open your door in the morning and let the fresh wind flow in. When wind touches a space that has been cared for, it brings freshness. It sweeps away the leftovers of the night, old smells, stale air, lingering moods. Fresh wind makes a house feel new again, and when the house feels new, the people living in it change their rhythm too. Just a few minutes each morning with an open door is enough for the energy in your home to renew itself every single day. Lightly, quietly, but deeply. The main entrance is always where the very first stream of energy flows into a home, and the view from that entrance sets the emotional tone for everything that follows. Just a few misplaced details in this space can weigh down the energy inside the house and quietly pull down the moods of the people living there without anyone realizing why. But by simply adjusting what the eyes see first, we can bring brightness, peace, and harmony back into the place we call home. Every home has its own rhythm of breath, and when the entryway is kept light and uncluttered, the energy throughout the rest of the house becomes softer and smoother. The atmosphere between family members becomes more gentle. Prosperity gathers more easily, and the feeling of peace becomes clearer with each passing day. This is not something magical. It is simply the way the mind and environment always reflect one another. Before you go, take a moment to leave a powerful positive affirmation in the comments below. My home is receiving light, peace, and prosperity every single day. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button to keep exploring the secrets of Feng Shui that can help your home become more peaceful, brighter, and more aligned with good fortune every single day.